I was selling used books on Shanyu, but I mistyped the price and added a few extra zeros. The next second, the system notified me that my item had been sold for 2 million. Shocked, I contacted the buyer to ask for a refund. But I found out the buyer was Lu Ruyan, a gold circle heiress. She asked me mournfully, "Do you have any other items of Feng Yuan's? I'll pay any price." He was my late husband. While moving, I was clearing out my bookshelf and found a stack of college entrance exam prep books. Adhering to the principle of not wasting a single cent, I casually listed them on a second-hand trading platform for 200 yuan. Binding Bean laughed at me, saying I was desperate for money, that the textbooks had been revised long ago, and these things could only be sold as scrap paper. 20 yuan is more reasonable. Would anyone really buy it for 200? I argued back. Youth is priceless, I can't sell it cheap, but deep down, I didn't hold much hope. It had been 10 years since I graduated from college, and even longer since the college entrance exam, 13 years ago. The textbooks had been revised several times. I figured only scrap paper collectors would want them. Unexpectedly, within just 5 minutes, I got a text notification saying the item had been sold. Overjoyed, I opened the app. The next second, I rubbed my eyes in disbelief. The transaction price was 2 million. What was going on? Had I accidentally set the currency to USD? I checked the other items I had listed, and the symbol in front was clearly the RMB sign. No mistake. Then I suddenly remembered that when I entered the price, my hand must have slipped and added a few extra zeros. I hadn't paid attention, and the buyer probably hadn't looked closely at the price either and just bought it. I forced down the bile rising in my throat. Seriously? This person buys things without checking the price? Can't they tell 200 yuan from 2 million? How does someone this blind even have 2 million in their account? I was about to lose it. Clenching my fists, I took a few deep breaths to calm down, then opened the chat interface on Shanyu. I sent a smiley face emoji and said, "Sorry, I made a mistake with the price. Please apply for a refund." The other party replied instantly. "Mistake? What do you mean? If you think it's too little, you can change the price. Has the world gone mad, or has the RMB suddenly become worthless? 2 million, and I'm supposed to think it's too little? Is that even Chinese?" Miss, I clicked on the other party's profile. The avatar was blank, but in the bio section, 3 familiar characters were clearly written, Lu Ruyan. My heart immediately started pounding. Lu Ruyan, the renowned gold circle heiress. Not only was her family wealthy, but she was also highly capable. A few years ago, she founded a tech company. It went public in just 3 years. At the new product launch, she wore a white haute couture dress. With long legs and a cold, stunning face, she drove the audience wild, shouting for President Lu to debut right there. If it was her, then it wasn't surprising. Tycoons have their own currency, I replied respectfully. President Lu, I made a mistake with the price. What was the original price? Do you have any other items of Feng Yuan's? I want everything of his. Name your price. I stared at the words on the screen. One by one, I looked at them for a full 5 minutes. Feng Yuan is me, I am Feng Yuan. But what does this connection mean? How does Lu Ruyan know me? She's a grand gold circle heiress, and I'm just a nobody from a small town. 2 people who have nothing to do with each other, how are they connected? I didn't answer for a long time. Lu Ruyan sent a voice message. "Sorry, I got a bit emotional. I hope I didn't scare you." After a pause, she told me in a very somber tone, "Feng Yuan was my late husband. His things mean a lot to me. If you have more, please sell them all to me." Lu Ruyan's voice was very distinctive, with a slight Beijing accent, exactly like on TV. I was numb, my heart pounding, my mind in a mess. Breathing rapidly, seeing stars. Oh my God. What kind of incredible fortune was this? I actually share the same name as President Lu's late husband. Lu Ruyan's love story was quite dramatic. Legend has it that she was surrounded by admirers, male celebrities, wealthy second-generation heirs, big influencers, all fighting over her. Among them, the most favored by the public was her childhood friend, Ji Boda. Ji Boda came from a family of equal status. Their business collaborations were also very close. From time to time, there were rumors that their families would merge through marriage. The company's stock would even rise for a few days. But unexpectedly, the childhood friend couldn't compete with the unexpected arrival. During a vacation abroad, Lu Ruyan eloped with a local guy. Lu Ruyan announced the marriage. She didn't even reveal his name. Journalists staked out for months, but knew nothing about his background, name or appearance. In desperation, they had to ask Ji Boda. Facing the camera, G. Boda first admitted it, then jokingly asked the reporter, "Do good things need to be hidden?" Soon, the media spread that Lu Ruyan didn't bring her husband out in public because he was too ordinary and embarrassing to show off, but with such ordinary conditions. How did Lu Ruyan fall for him? It became a mystery at the time. There were all kinds of theories. Some said the man saved her life and then took advantage of the situation. The most widespread rumor was that before her vacation, Lu Ruyan had a huge fight with G. Boda, who seemed to have done something terrible. Lu Ruyan married some random guy out of spite. The events that followed only confirmed this rumor. Lu Ruyan didn't like her new husband. She never brought him to public events. She never mentioned him in front of the media. Even at her birthday party, when talking about the most important person to her, she mentioned G. Boda's name. Everyone thought the marriage was in name only. Until 3 years ago, when Mr. Fong died in a car accident, Lu Ruyan suddenly went crazy. Mr. Fong's car plunged from the bridge into the riverbed, and not even a body was found. At the time, a large number of police and rescue teams were deployed. Lu Ruyan felt that wasn't enough. In the freezing cold, she personally searched the water for an entire day. Until she collapsed from exhaustion and fell unconscious, was rescued, and after waking up, she pulled out the 4-tube, with red-rimmed eyes, and immediately charged toward the river again. Lu Ruyan had the bodyguards hold her down. The media swarmed outside. The usually spirited and proud, aloof and arrogant Lu Ruyan struggled fiercely in front of the cameras, wailing in grief. Like a desperate trapped beast, "I have to save him. He's very timid. The water is so dark, so cold. Let me go. Let me go." Later, a doctor gave her a sedative. It said she was strictly watched over by her family and didn't appear in public for a full 6 months. When she finally surfaced again in public view, her image and temperament were completely different from before. Previously lively and cheerful, an elegant and refined young lady, now she is unsmiling, serious, and indifferent. Her eyes hold only the ashes after a fire has burned. Everyone says she has matured, melancholic and profound. "You're killing me." Now, Lu Ruyan uses her captivating voice to send a long voice message. "Don't worry, I'm really not a scammer. How did you get those things? Do you have any others? Can you take photos and send them to me?" To put me at ease, he even directly clicked confirm receipt, so I watched helplessly. As my Shenyu account gained 2,000,000, 100,000, 10,000, 1,000, 100, 10, 5 zeros. I counted several times and jumped up in excitement. Bining Bean was putting on his shoes at the entrance. Seeing my expression, he raised an eyebrow in surprise. "Look how happy you are." He himself grinned joyfully, his usually sharp deep-set brows and eyes curving softly. A few strands of hair swayed gently in the breeze from outside the window. My heart melted completely. "Bing, I'm going to be rich. Listen to me. We're going to be rich." I rushed over and hugged Bining Bean tightly. He let out a muffled grunt, stumbled half a step, and braced himself against the cabinet door, naturally reaching out his hand. He lowered his head and restrainedly kissed my earlobe. "I still have several surgeries today. Don't make me late, okay?" Sensing something unusual down there, I blushed and jumped off him. All right, go quickly. I'll tell you when you get back. Be good. It'll be late today. I'll bring you a late-night snack." Bining Bean ruffled the top of my head, then hurriedly grabbed his bag and left. My phone kept vibrating. Lu Ruyan sent several voice messages in a row, urging me to hand over my stuff. Judging by her words, both she and her deceased husband share the same name as me. And even the handwriting is very similar. What does this mean? A windfall from heaven? A fortune beyond imagination? So I leaped up and dashed back into the room, digging out all my notebooks that had my own writing. "This page has song lyrics copied down. Is it okay?" "Okay. What's your number? I'll just add you directly." I added Lu Ruyan on WeChat. He directly transferred me 1,000,000 yuan, saying he also wanted this handwritten lyrics notebook. College class notes. 900,000. Handwritten recipes, 300,000. Reading excerpts, 500,000. The pile of books on the table grew higher and higher. I was charging around the room like crazy, face contorted, movements wild. I was almost losing my mind. I even sold him my autograph book from junior high graduation, which clearly had the school name, class, and everything, enough to prove that Mr. Fong and I are not the same person. He didn't care at all. Seeing my handwriting was like grabbing a lifeline for him. Trying to remember the person through these objects? No wonder they say true romantics only come from wealthy families. A similar handwriting is worth this much? How deep is that affection? I stared at the long string of zeros in my WeChat wallet, my mind drifting. To be honest, I'd been really strapped for cash. Earlier, when I was hospitalized, it cost Binding Bean a huge sum. He kept saying I didn't need to pay him back, but we're just boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't want to keep taking advantage of him. Everyone says that I can be with Binding Bean. It was really lucky. He was a doctoral student from a prestigious university, the youngest. Deputy chief of cardiology in a top-tier hospital. Young and promising, busy with work until after hours. He would come home first thing to cook my favorite dishes. After saving for several years, he bought a great apartment in a prime location. He would also call me by name, but the more he did that, the more I wanted to repay him in kind. With this money, I could buy him all the things he liked. But, does this money really belong to me? Is Lu Ruyan drunk? Once she sobers up, she won't ask for it back, will she? I asked him nervously, President Lu, I'll have the stuff shipped to you right away. Don't go back on your word. Lu Ruyan said, you're in Guang City? I happen to be in Guang City for a conference these days. No need to ship it. Give me an address. And I'll send someone to pick it up. No, are you at the Guang City branch? I know where the Lu Group headquarters is. I'll bring it over later. Having made so much money, I figured I should at least have that basic level of service. Lu Ruyan didn't refuse. I'll be at the office until 9 tonight. Okay. I checked my WeChat balance a few more times, then excitedly looked for a cardboard box to pack all the notebooks. After that, I went downstairs to hail a taxi. In the car, I got a call from Shinbuyu. Fang Yuan. I really don't get you. Shinbuyu accused me in an exaggerated tone. Are you that desperate for money? A few shabby books, and you want to sell them for 2 million? Change the price back now. Or I can't report back. Shinbuyu was Binding Bean's best friend. I knew right away. Binding Bean had secretly asked him to buy my old books. Shinbuyu said sourly. He just spoils you rotten. He's spoiling you so much you can't even set a price right. Don't tell him about this. He said you can't know. I couldn't help laughing out loud. Take another look. The deal is already done for 2 million. The Lu Group wasn't far from my place, so the car arrived quickly. I joked around with Shinbuyu and told him everything. Of course, I kept my guard up and didn't mention the later stuff. Only the part about 1.8 million. Shinbuyu was a government official's son from a wealthy family, so he wouldn't be jealous over that amount of money. But unexpectedly, a scream came from the other end. Lu Ruyan? Shinbuyu's voice carried an uncontrollable panic. Fang Yuan, go home immediately. You can't see him. Why? This is 2 million. Don't tell me you're jealous of me? Don't worry, I'll treat you to a big meal. I hugged the cardboard box and walked through the Lu Group's entrance. I wasn't wearing a badge, and the security was strict. The front desk stopped me and asked all kinds of questions. With one arm holding the box, I hurriedly hung up. I'll tell you later. The front desk clarified the situation and told me to take the elevator straight to the top floor. President Lu said you can go directly to the office. She handed me an elevator card and asked with a mix of envy and curiosity, which company are you from? The executive floor isn't accessible to just anyone. I gave an awkward smile. The front desk suddenly realized. You must be with Mr. G, she said, waving me off. Go on up, then. Mr. G has a bad temper, so don't keep him waiting. Mr. G. G Boda? Looks like the gossip magazines got it right. He really is close with Lu Ruyan. I've heard they might get married, but who knows? Things like that have nothing to do with us ordinary folks. I just need to deliver my books. I shook my head and followed the signs to find the restroom first. To be honest, as a regular office worker about to meet Lu Ruyan, I was a bit nervous. I took 2 deep breaths, set the box on the sink, and walked into a stall. Just as I closed the door, I heard the crisp sound of heels clicking on the floor outside. Then a young man's impatient voice came through the crack in the door. He's still looking? It's been 3 years. The bones must have rotted away by now. What's he even doing? Another magnetic voice replied. Let him be, Brother G. I feel bad for you. How many years have you been with Lu Ruyan? How long is she going to drag you along like this? Alright, G Boda interrupted the other person irritably. Xiaoyan, this is our business. Don't interfere. I just can't stand him. What's wrong with him? Back when that Fang Yuan was alive, he couldn't stand him at all. That one gathering, we played tricks on Fang Yuan, and he was on our side, forcing Fang Yuan to kneel and apologize to you. Now that the guy is dead, why does he suddenly treasure him? Every day, he's all mopey. Who's he trying to show his deep feelings for? It's like he's lost his mind. This Xiaoyan, listening to her. She's a straight shooter, chattering away like a machine gun, rattling off a bunch of complaints. I listened with great interest. 5 years ago, Lu Ruyan and Fang Yuan were in a romantic English town. At that time, Lu Ruyan had made a huge blunder in his business. He was fired from all his positions. This project was a collaboration with Ji Boda. Ji Boda shifted the blame, not only refusing to protect Lu Ruyan but actually kicking him when he was down. He pinned all the blame on him. Disappointed, Lu Ruyan came to England alone to clear his mind. It was here that he met the warm and kind Fang Yuan. They fell in love at first sight. Quickly plunged into a romance. Half out of revenge against Ji Boda and half out of revenge against his family. And with a touch of exotic romance catalyzing their feelings, the two held a low-key, warm wedding. In an English manner, Cinderella met her Prince Charming, and everything was as beautiful as a fairy tale. But it wasn't until they returned home, setting foot on their homeland, that Fang Yuan realized in shock. Those sweet words spoken in the rose manner silently dissolved in the morning light of reality. Lu Ruyan soon grew tired of the ordinary, plain Fang Yuan. He had no prominent family background, no outstanding education. He knew nothing about jewelry and couldn't appreciate fine wine. He was just a pretty vase. Completely unimpressive. Lu Ruyan began to feel annoyed. Fang Yuan's existence seemed to remind him of what a foolish mistake he had made. So, he let Ji Boda humiliate Fang Yuan. At a party, he watched as Xiao Yan held a glass of red wine and walked straight into Fang Yuan. She had spilled it on herself, but she screamed and grabbed Fang Yuan, demanding he pay for her custom-tailored suit. Fang Yuan's face turned red, and he looked to Lu Ruyan for help, at a loss. Lu Ruyan turned his head away, pretending not to see. Xiao Yan smirked triumphantly. This suit costs 1.7 million. You couldn't afford it even if you sold yourself. Pay up now, or I'll call the police. Ji Boda stepped in as a peacemaker. Forget it. We're all friends here. No need to make such a scene. How about this? Fang Yuan, kneel down and apologize to Xiao Yan, and we'll let it go. Okay? Fang Yuan hung his head, standing still like a wooden statue, not moving an inch. Xiao Yan directly kicked his knees. What do you think? Do you really think your kneeling is worth that much? If it weren't for Brother Ji's sake, who would want your apology? Fang Yuan crashed to the ground. Lu Ruyan got up coldly and left. Status and wealth were completely mismatched. The naive Fang Yuan stumbled into the world of fame and fortune, completely helpless. Reality is not a fairy tale. Cinderella marrying the prince can live happily ever after because the prince himself is the son of an earl. But Fang Yuan had nothing except a reckless, passionate love. Ji Boda could come up with any trick to humiliate Fang Yuan until he couldn't hold his head up. The custom-tailored suit stained with red wine, the crushed branded leather shoes. So expensive yet so fragile, just like Lu Ruyan's feelings. Fang Yuan could never measure up. Xiao Yan was still cursing. What a nobody, a piece of trash anyone can step on. What's she mourning? What act is she putting on? I really don't get it. Is she out of her mind? Someone like that, dead is dead. If she were alive, I'd slap her senseless. Doesn't she know her own place? Brother, is this bullying? I was furious hearing this. I couldn't help sitting up. With a whoosh, the toilet auto-flushed. The conversation stopped. Xiao Yan immediately rushed over, banging on the door. Who's hiding in there? How dare you eavesdrop on my conversation? Get out here. Oh no. I hesitated for a moment, then forced a smile, opened the door, and said, sorry. I was going to the bathroom, not intentionally eavesdropping on you, Fang Yuan. Xiao Yan let out a piercing scream. She stumbled back several steps, pointing at me in terror. She asked Ji Boda beside her, is she Fang Yuan? Am I seeing things? Brother Ji, she is Fang Yuan. Ji Boda's face instantly turned pale. The color drained completely from his face. He staggered, supporting himself on Xiao Yan's arm. His body swayed a few times, and large teardrops rolled down his cheeks. I knew it. I should have known. Lu Ruyan's mood today has been off all along. So you. Ji Boda rambled incoherently. Crying like a pear blossom in the rain, Xiao Yan flew into a rage. She grabbed the thermos in her hand and charged at me. Truly a pest that lives 1,000 years. Instinctively, a huge wave of fear welled up inside me. Like falling into deep water, everything around me blurred. There were crowds of onlookers. Their mocking and sarcastic words surged toward me like a tide, drowning me. I was almost suffocating. A large hand reached out before me, and Bai Ningbing's gentle smile appeared. Fang Yuan, don't be afraid. I'm here. No one can hurt you. Don't hide in the cabinet. Come out, okay? During that time when I first woke up in the hospital, for some reason, I had severe stress reactions. I was afraid of crowds, afraid of people talking, even afraid of light. I always used to hide alone in the wardrobe, curling myself into a ball. It was Bai Ningbing who held my hand and walked me out of it. He said I wasn't cowardly or useless. Just kind. Kind people would rather turn the blade on themselves than hurt others. Deep down, it's because I felt inferior to others. Unappreciated, the one who could be sacrificed at any time, Bai Ningbing told me. Over and over, how meaningful I was to him. Fang Yuan. You are the most important person to me. If others bully you, I'll be heartbroken. If kindness doesn't earn respect, then learn to grow thorns, okay? He took me to the market, haggling and arguing with the vendors. He taught me to fight back, to retaliate. Sometimes when we disagreed, he would lean his face close to mine and say, "Hit me, come on, hit me. Then I'll listen to you." I got so mad that time that I actually slapped him. He excitedly spun me around in his arms, saying he would give me a big reward. I was sinking into the abyss. The suffocating despair from moments ago instantly melted away like ice and snow. I let out a loud shout and punched Xiao Yan hard in the face. Come on, I didn't learn 2 years of Muay Thai for nothing. Xiao Yan screamed with her eyes closed, wildly swinging the thermos. I shifted my steps. My body swayed rhythmically, striking left and right, treating her like a punching bag. Just like you see on TV in boxing matches. Jiboda was stunned. It took him a while to react. Dropping his fake gracious demeanor, he grabbed a broom from the corner and lunged at me. I threw the books from the box at him, 2 against 1, and I held my own. When the floor security arrived on the scene and opened the bathroom door, I had Jiboda's hair in my left hand and my right foot planted on Xiao Yan's back. Their faces were a mess of snot and tears, and their designer suits were torn to shreds. The security guard gasped. Call the police, hurry up and call the police. Wait. Go inform President Liu first. This person was called by President Liu, right? Facing the security guard. It wasn't good for me to act up in front of everyone. I awkwardly let go, picking up the book scattered on the floor. They started it. Jiboda lay on the ground with a pained expression. I knew you were faking it all along. I'll expose your true face in front of Lu Ruyan. Xiao Yan covered her nose and also put on a fierce look. It hurts so much. I won't let you off. Amid their endless curses, a graceful figure walked toward me from the end of the corridor, silhouetted against the light. She had a slender figure, wearing a white one-shoulder dress, and carried the aura of someone long in a position of power, commanding respect without anger, making it nearly impossible to look her in the face. I lowered my head. My whole body tensed. Lu Ruyan walked up to me, and a shadow loomed over me. I organized my words. President Liu, you can't blame me. The words that followed all got stuck in my throat. I couldn't utter a single word, because Lu Ruyan bent down and hugged me. She tightly wrapped her arms around my waist. As if she wanted to knead me into her bones, I felt the moisture from her tears soaking my clothes on my shoulder. My mind went blank. Was she crying? Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan, Fang Yuan, Lu Ruyan choked out, calling my name over and over, her whole body trembling uncontrollably. Such sorrow. It's me, President Liu. Let go. I pushed Lu Ruyan away. Jiboda's eyes were red as he hysterically towed. Lu Ruyan, look at her. She hit me. She beat Xiao Yan and me like this. I quickly argued back. They started it. President Liu, I was about to. The next words didn't come out. Because Lu Ruyan suddenly bent down. She didn't even glance at Jiboda, her gaze was locked tightly on me. She looked me over from head to toe, her eyes filled with the wild joy of having found something lost and regained, disbelief, bitterness, and heartache. I know. Be good, don't be afraid. From now on, I will never let anyone bully you again. Are you hurt? Her eyes stopped on my red knuckles. Lu Ruyan's gaze suddenly darkened. What are you waiting for? Have the medical team bring a stretcher immediately. Call an ambulance. As she spoke, she pulled me and strode out. Her tone was urgent, her expression tense, as if I was about to die any second. Fang Yuan, hang in there. The ambulance is on its way. I looked down at my fingers. My knuckles were red. That was from hitting someone. That wasn't the point. What was wrong with this Lu Ruyan? Just as I was dazed, I suddenly heard a familiar shout. Fang Yuan. I turned to look. Bai Ningning and Shin Buyu, panting heavily, stood at the elevator entrance. It was obvious they had run all the way. Bai Ningning's usually sleek bangs were blown upright by the wind, messily falling backward. Her cheeks were flushed, her eyes slightly wet, even more alluring. I waved at him. Aining, suddenly remembering that I was still being held by Lu Ruyan. I immediately broke free and ran toward Bai Ningning, grabbing his arm. Let's go quickly. Everyone here is crazy. Hurry up, what if Lu Ruyan finds out those books are damaged and wants a refund? It's you. Lu Ruyan's tone was cold, her fists clenched tightly. I should have guessed. Bai Ningning, long time no see. Bai Ningning twisted my shoulder. His gaze swept over me quickly. Seeing that I wasn't hurt, he finally relaxed. He sneered and looked at Lu Ruyan. President Lu. We're not close. There's no need to meet again in the future. My fiancé has social anxiety. He doesn't like meeting strangers. Lu Ruyan's expression was blank, her eyes falling on the hand on my shoulder. Her eyes seemed to be covered in a layer of frost. Fiancé? You're going to marry my husband? Did you ask for my opinion, his wife? As she spoke, the security guards moved closer to us. They silently blocked the elevator entrance. Even as slow as I was, I finally understood now. Bai Ningning knew Lu Ruyan. Shin Buyu stopped me from meeting Lu Ruyan, Ji Boda, and Xiao Yan. They all treated me as Lu Ruyan's deceased husband. So Fang Yuan is me, and I am Fang Yuan. 3 years ago, when I first woke up in the hospital, Bai Ningning often came to the ward to visit me. She was my high school classmate. We were never in the same class, but we knew of each other. I was decent looking and had some reputation at school. Bai Ningning, on the other hand, was famous for constantly topping the grade ranking. Later, she got into the best university in the capital. I stayed in Guang City, worked a routine job after graduation. The two of us never really crossed paths in life. I heard she entered a very prestigious hospital locally. How did she end up transferring to Guang City? Excitedly, I grabbed her arm. Bai Ningning, what's going on? Isn't it 2020 now? They all say it's 2023. What is this situation? Bai Ningning gently comforted me. It's okay, don't be nervous, she said. You were in a car accident. You became a vegetable, unconscious in the hospital for 3 whole years. She even showed me a big stack of admission forms. I tried hard to recall the car accident, there seemed to be a vague image of it. The nurses around were murmuring. I immediately curled up in fear. Don't come near me. Fang Yuan, don't be afraid. You've been in darkness for too long, so you might have some post-traumatic after effects. It's normal to be afraid of light and people. I'll help you get through this. The lost 3 years were fabricated by Bai Ningbin. He wove a flawless lie that made me believe I had been asleep, that I hadn't traveled. That I hadn't met Lu Ruyan, hadn't married into a wealthy family, hadn't been bullied into depression. That my love hadn't shattered like soap bubbles. I was still me, just the ordinary Fang Yuan. Working a 9-to-5 job, then going home to a small apartment with the person I loved. Cooking lively meals, watching a favorite movie, nothing too earth-shattering. But real, warm, reassuring. Just like Bai Ningbin. Seeing my stunned expression, Bai Ningbin's hands began to tremble too. Fang Yuan, I'll explain when we get back. Lu Ruyan watched us quietly. Fang Yuan, come here. I stood still. Lu Ruyan softened her tone. Fang Yuan, be good. It was my fault before. I'll change everything. Come back to me, okay? I shook my head. No, I'm going home with Bai Ningbin. I took Bai Ningbin's hand. Lu Ruyan's expression lost control. Fang Yuan, I've searched for you all these years. I won't let you go again. As she spoke, she gestured, and the security guards behind her closed in. At the same time, the elevator opened, and a dozen more bodyguards stepped out. Calmly, I pulled out my phone. Hello, 110? Police officer. Someone's trying to kidnap me. After hanging up, I sneered at Lu Ruyan. Ms. Lu, this is a society governed by law. Do you think this is some billionaire CEO novel? There's no law? Imprisoning people at will and forcing love? Idiot. Lu Ruyan was speechless. The police arrived in 5 minutes and took all of us to the station. Ms. Lu, we've understood the situation. The officer looked troubled. In this big world, people can look alike. This Mr. Fang Yuan is indeed not your husband. I've been from a divorced family since childhood. My parents never really cared for me. After the accident, my mother handled my death certificate and cancelled my household registration. Legally speaking, the previous Fang Yuan no longer exists. Now, my household registration was arranged by Bai Ningbin, registered in Hong Kong. It has nothing to do with the previous Fang Yuan. Bai Ningbin even lied, saying he got me an extra Hong Kong identity. For future convenience, like our kids studying abroad. Lu Ruyan laughed in anger. Hong Kong person? Have him say a sentence in Cantonese then. I'll curse you, I cried. Bai Ningbin lowered his head, his shoulders shaking uncontrollably. Lu Ruyan's face turned livid. Fang Yuan, you weren't like this before. What does that prove? It proves you've mistaken me. I'm not that Fang Yuan at all. Officer? I feel like she's going crazy missing her husband. Will she try to kidnap me again? The officer repeatedly assured me. Public security in Guangzhou is excellent. If anything happens, contact us immediately. He also threatened Lu Ruyan. Ms. Lu, with your family's influence, you wouldn't want such a scandal, would you? Helpless, Lu Ruyan bit the bullet and signed the statement. One of the officers recognized Bai Ningbin. He warmly drove us home. Dr. Bai, call us if anything comes up. What's a golden circle heiress? No one is above the law. Guangzhou doesn't play by those rules. Once home, as soon as the door closed, Bai Ningbin hugged me tightly from behind. Fang Yuan, I was so scared. His whole body trembled as he pressed his cheek against mine. Bai Ningbin's body temperature is usually 1 degree higher than mine. Normally, I would feel his body burning hot. In summer, when he tried to hug me, I would push him away in disgust. But today, his body was freezing like a block of ice. The words of reproach in my heart suddenly became hard to say. Bai Ningbin. Can you tell me everything from the beginning? What's going on? Bai Ningbin nodded. 3 years ago, your last phone call was to me. Bai Ningbin said, the two of us were never completely disconnected. Those years in the capital, I had a very hard time. It's not entirely unrelated. During my years in the capital, I lived a very tough life. He would tell him anything that bothered him, and Bai Ningbin was quite indignant on my behalf. He often asked me, Fang Yuan, are you happy? I shook my head and said I wasn't. He held my hand with concern. Then why not try a different way? I yanked my hand back as if pricked by a needle. Leaving Lu Ruyan would make me even more unhappy. I understood Bai Ningbin's hint. After that, I never contacted him again, until May 20th. On my birthday, I called Bai Ningbin, my voice very calm. Bai Ningbin, I'm so tired. But Bai Ningbin heard the hidden despair beneath that calm surface. Fang Yuan, where are you? If I could do it all over again, I wish I had never met him. After saying those words, I stepped on the gas. Heaven really heard my prayer and gave me a chance to start over. This time, I completely forgot Lu Ruyan. I didn't remember the two of them passionately kissing under the ivy on the wall, or him carrying me for a long, long way while gently calling me Fang Yuan. I didn't remember the coldness and hurt either. Lu Ruyan became a trimmed film in the story, completely erased from the path of my life. I couldn't quite describe the feeling. My heart felt somewhat empty, with a dense, piercing pain rising up. I felt lost and disoriented, pulling away from Bai Ningbin's embrace. Bai Ningbin grew even more uneasy. Fang Yuan, are you blaming me? I deliberately scared him. Yes, such an important thing, and you lied to me for a whole 3 years. Bai Ningbin gave a bitter smile. It's my fault. I've liked you for far too long. I never had a chance. I admit, the second I found out about your amnesia, my despicable side won over my conscience. I was greedy, taking advantage of your vulnerability. Bai Ningbin stumbled back half a step, his body leaning against the door. He lowered his eyes, his long eyelashes casting a light shadow under his eyelids, looking lonely and fragile. Fang Yuan, Bai Ningbin clenched his fists, his knuckles turning white. I've been too selfish. Bai Ningbin was still wearing his white lab coat from the hospital, his expression haggard. He looked like he was about to shatter. I immediately couldn't hold out anymore. Oh. That's not what I meant. Don't be sad. I took the initiative to hug Bai Ningbin. My face buried in his neck, kissing his chin. I only meant to comfort him. Somehow, things gradually developed in an indescribable direction. Bai Ningbin easily pressed me against the door, repeatedly whispering my name. His white coat was half pulled down, loosely hanging over his shoulder, revealing a pink short-sleeve underneath. Half noble and holy, even wounded, the other half was the most naked. Worldly desire. I blushed at the sight. Bai Ningbin led me along to the sofa. The two of us refused to separate for even a moment, until I was completely exhausted. I didn't know how many times white flashes crossed my mind before Binding Bean finally stopped with a satisfied expression. I lay sprawled on the sofa, catching my breath, when suddenly I remembered, hey, how do you know Lu Ruyan? Did he come with you to the hospital? Then how did you have the chance to confess to me? That doesn't sound right. Binding Bean was silent for a moment, then handed me his phone. Fang Yuan, since it's come to this, I won't hide it from you anymore. My father and the Lu family have been friends for generations. It's just that my parents are also divorced. I grew up with my mother. Every summer break, I would go back to the capital. I've known Lu Ruyan since we were kids. I widened my eyes, staring at the series of numbers in the mobile banking app. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. Well, how come you're all overbearing CEOs? And me, don't I have some hidden identity? I don't accept this. Binding Bean laughed. It's all yours. Everything is yours. I told you before, I have money. You never believed me. I was stunned. Back then, when Binding Bean said he wanted to buy a wedding house, he chose the most luxurious location, a house over 300 square meters. I chewed him out badly. I knew his parents were divorced. His mother was just an ordinary middle school teacher. Binding Bean hadn't been out of university for many years, and a doctor's income in the early years isn't high. At most. How much could he have saved? He couldn't afford it at all. Property prices in Guang City are expensive. A 3-bedroom apartment that's decent in every way would cost at least 4 or 5 million. I pressured Binding Bean to pinch pennies with me. These 3 years of hardship, I brought them on myself. I angrily slapped Binding Bean's thigh. Then why are you telling me now? Binding Bean grabbed my hand. Shin Buyu said you were so happy about getting $1 million that you were about to fly with someone as rich as Lu Ruyan. I'm afraid. After a pause, Binding Bean looked at me seriously. Fang Yuan, everything he has, I have too. As much as I can, I'll give it all to you. Stay by my side. Okay? I got a little smug. It depends on your performance. What are you doing? Let me go. Binding Bean held my ankle. He pulled me under him. Isn't this my performance? Binding Bean was called away by the hospital's emergency phone. I was left alone at home, sleeping like crazy. When I opened my eyes again, it was already the next afternoon. I got up and called for takeout. Half an hour later, the delivery guy's flustered voice came from my phone. Hey, there's someone at your door. They took my delivery. I slipped on my slippers and opened the door. Lu Ruyan stood outside. The corners of her eyes red, holding my bag of takeout. When she saw me open the door, she walked in without a word. The delivery guy asked me, "Do you want me to call the police?" I shook my head. No need. He's my friend. After learning the whole story, I no longer disliked Lu Ruyan as much as at the start. I didn't think she was crazy, but I still deliberately left the door wide open. Lu Ruyan looked around, her voice dry and hoarse. You live with Binding Bean? I took the takeout bag from her hand, opened it, and started taking out the boxes one by one. CEO Lu, we're settled, right? What else do you want? Fang Yuan. Lu Ruyan called my name hoarsely, her eyes dim. Her expression bitter. Who am I? CEO Lu. CEO of the Lu Group. Lu Ruyan's eyes darkened further, faintly glistening with tears. I tentatively replied, the Golden Circle's princess, the nation's wife. Lu Ruyan curled her lips in self-mockery. You really don't remember me? After a pause, she choked out, last night I had someone check your recent years. You lost your memory. Fang Yuan, I'd rather you hate me. I don't want you to forget me. Lu Ruyan suddenly strode over, grabbed my arm forcefully, and raised her voice uncontrollably. How could you forget me? Let go. I aimed my chopsticks at her eyes. If you mess around, I'll stab you. Lu Ruyan obediently let go. She looked at me with a deeply pained expression. You're completely different from before. Of course. I'm not that Fang Yuan in the first place. Afraid she might be recording, I answered carefully. As I opened the lunchbox and started slurping noodles, Lu Ruyan watched me for a while. She pulled out a chair and sat across from me, quietly watching me eat. Without saying a word, as she watched, she suddenly smiled gently. You like chewing on the right side when you eat. After a few bites of noodles, you take a big gulp of water. Asterisk cough cough star dot. I quickly set down my cup. You are Fang Yuan. Your habits haven't changed. Why don't you remember me? Lu Ruyan's eyes turned red. I grabbed a tissue and handed it to her, comforting her. The dead can't come back to life. CEO Lu, my condolences. Lu Ruyan didn't take the tissue. Instead, she seized the opportunity to hold my hand. Fang Yuan, I asked the doctor. With enough stimulation, you might regain your memory. How about we go to the UK? Fall in love again. Again? Crazy. CEO Liu, if you keep this up, I'll call the police. Talk if you want, but keep your hands to yourself, okay? I slapped Lu Ruyan's hand hard. And gave her the boot. Lu Ruyan wouldn't give up, she said. I used to love him to death. No matter how he trampled on me, I just wouldn't leave. The name Lu Ruyan is etched into my bones, melted into my blood. I told him I can't rip it out of my life. I am stubborn. Obsessive, burning myself like fireworks, loving him with my whole power. He didn't believe I could ever forget this. I shoved the plastic bag back into his hand. President Liu, please take out the trash when you head downstairs. Thank you, then showing no mercy, Lu Ruyan slammed the door shut. Lu Ruyan refused to give up. He switched tactics against me, saying, since I wouldn't admit to being Fang Yuan, it was fine, we could treat each other as strangers. He and Bai Ning weren't married, so he could still pursue me. From then on, Lu Ruyan started showing up around me frequently. Sending me flowers and jewelry, trying to recreate the sweet times they used to share. I firmly refused. President Liu. Stop harassing me. Lu Ruyan begged me, give me a chance to make it up. Fang Yuan. Try being with me, you'll fall in love with me again. He carefully pushed it into my hand. You said yourself, in terms of looks. I'm your favorite type. Someone you're physically attracted to, no matter how many times you meet. Will fall for me again. Impatiently, I said, if we loved each other so much. What were you doing back then? You had to push me to suicide. Lu Ruyan trembled all over. The color draining from his lips instantly. Suicide? He asked incredulously, his voice shaking. Wasn't it a car accident? Was it suicide? Fang Yuan, have you remembered something? I shook my head and tossed the box into my arms, a slip of the tongue. Not my suicide, your ex-husband Fang Yuan's suicide, Bai Ningbin told me. Your so-called love only drives him to death, Lu Ruyan. I'll tell you one last time, Bai Ningbin and I are getting married soon. I love him deeply, and he loves me. I can't consider anyone else. Let go, can't you be graceful? Lu Ruyan fell silent. Standing lonely by the roadside, the street lamp stretching his shadow long. Without looking back, I strode forward. For 2 straight days, Lu Ruyan didn't appear again. Just as I relaxed, Ji Boda and Xiao Yan came barging in. Xiao Yan was furious, cursing profusely. Ji Boda raised his hand. Xiao Yan, wait at the door. Got it. Don't be too polite with him. The door closed, and Ji Boda smoothed the stray hair at his temples. Staring at me with a fake smile, I know all about your situation. Fang Yuan, you lost your memory and returned to your commoner life. How does it feel? 6,000 a month, tough, right? So when you ran into Lu Ruyan, you stuck to him like chewing gum. He curled his lip disdainfully. I know what you poor people think. You all dream of marrying into a wealthy family. Too bad it's not so easy. You still don't know how you died 3 years ago, do you? Ji Boda laughed wickedly. You can't survive, Fang Yuan. Even if you marry Lu Ruyan 10,000 times, you'll never live the life you imagine. He somewhat exaggeratedly described my past miserable life, chilling me to the bone, being forced underwater in the pool countless times. Nearly suffocating, locked out in the rain and not allowed inside. Having my ski board broken during skiing and then deliberately pushed. I really had no idea. Fang Yuan had gone through so much. Not to mention the cold words and sarcasm. The exclusion and bullying, while the only one he loved, Lu Ruyan, stood by coldly. Never reaching out. No wonder he became depressed and had stress reactions. What kind of life was that? Ji Boda warned me, marry Lu Ruyan. And you'll just repeat the path from 3 years ago. Is that what you want? I sat still, unmoving. Seeing my dazed expression, Ji Boda sighed in relief and pushed another bank card toward me. Here's 30 million. Take this money and get out of Lu Ruyan's sight. You're a smart person, you should know how to choose. I hurriedly opened the drawer. Pulled out paper and pen. Wait, write this here. A voluntary gift agreement. Also write your ID number. Then use this ink pad. And press your fingerprint. Ji Boda was stunned for a second, then quickly took the paper and pen. As he wrote, he sneered relentlessly. I knew it, what love or not. You poor people, in the end, it's all for profit. I have one more condition. Have Xiao Yan come in. Xiao Yan walked into the private room, saw the bank card and agreement on the table. Snorted, rolled her eyes, and laughed coldly. Sure enough, I guessed it all along. Go ahead. What else do you have to say? I jumped up and punched him hard on the bridge of his nose. My condition is to beat you both one last time. With that, I struck left and right. Grabbed hair, kicked stomachs, and gave them another thorough beating. Last time's lesson didn't stick. These two were wearing tight suits. Custom leather shoes, hard to move around, unlike me. Sweatpants and sneakers, as agile as a rabbit. Quick on my feet. After the beating, I felt refreshed. I stuffed the agreement and bank card into my bag. If you dare call the police on me, I'll have Lu Ruyan settle it immediately. You've bullied me so many times before. G-Bota's 30 million. That's 40 million now. Plus the money in Binding Bean's card. I can't spend it all. Absolutely can't spend it all. Too bad Binding Bean is too busy to take me on vacation. Otherwise we could travel the world. I begged Binding Bean to take a few days of annual leave, so we could relax together for a few days. Binding Bean looked troubled. He didn't even approve annual leave. Unless what? Marriage leave. That's 15 days. Fang Yuan, will you marry me? I smiled and nodded, reaching out my hand. Wow. Such a big diamond ring. Originally, I went downstairs to take out the trash. I saw Lu Ruyan standing in the rain, without an umbrella. I've been backed into this corner. I've cut off all cooperation with G-Bota, and I won't have any contact with them in the future. Can you? No, I cut him off. Lu Ruyan. I'm getting married tomorrow. Lu Ruyan froze. The silver rain danced in the streetlight beams. The last spark in Lu Ruyan's eyes was extinguished by the rain. Turned to ash. He twitched the corner of his mouth, his throat struggling to swallow. Congratulations, Fang Yuan. I wish you happiness. Thanks. I threw away the trash. When I went back upstairs, I glanced down from the window. That person was still there. The rain curtain stretched from sky to earth. It enveloped him from all sides. He was alone, as if forever trapped. In the dark, damp memories. I stood under the warm light and shuddered. That contradiction on him, none of my business. Me and Binding Bean. 2 people, 3 meals, 4 seasons of life. A bright future ahead. The end.